Hello, beautiful people. So this is a well-detailed class. It's like a three-in-one class. How to draft a basic bodice, how to take a measurement, and how to draft a corset. So it's like a three-in-one tutorial and well detailed. So please watch to the end of this video, and also please like and subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button. When you click on it, you get notification anytime I upload new video. So let's get straight into this tutorial. So first thing first, you need to know how to take your body measurements for beginners that are in the class. So you're going to place your tape like so and start taking your vertical lines, just as you can see me doing, from the shoulder to the bust point, to the under bust, to the waist point. This is the waist point, the deeper part of your body, like when you bend, that curve or that inner curve that comes out is your waist point. You can also use like a rope to hold it. So from the waist straight down to the full length of how you want it to be, you can use 3 or 4 inches, it depends. So the same thing from your shoulder to your bust point to your under bust. These are your vertical lines. So when you take it round, when you take the tape round your bust, your waist, your hip is horizontal. So this is like a beginner's tutorial. From that waist point, you can just add 3 or 4 inches. That will be the length of the top or the length of the corset or whatever length you want to work with. So for the back side, you want to take your shoulder to shoulder. So you're going to place the tape at one side of the shoulder bone to the next, just as you can see me doing. You take your shoulder to shoulder like so. This is the shoulder to shoulder. This is how you take it. Then from that point, you place the tape straight down to get your sleeve length. So it depends. If you want it to be 3/4, if you want it to be half, if you want it to be full length, you just take your normal measurement just like this, depending on how you want it to be. The full length 23, the 3/4 11. So that's that. So if you are taking for your vertical lines for the back, it's just going to be from the shoulder to the waist. And remember, the back the back is different from the front, and the front is longer than the back because of the bust, but the back you don't have a bust. So the same procedure, just bend a little bit, or you can use like a rope to tie your waist point so you can get the exact point. So this is how you take your vertical and your horizontal lines. So taking the horizontal lines now, you're going to place the top, you're going to take the tape round the bust. So these are the horizontal lines or the horizontal measurements. Then when you are placing it on the paper to draft, it's going to be horizontal line, vertical line. I hope you understand, the beginners in the house. So you take your tape round the bust points like so. That will be your bust point. In this case, it's 36. Then when you take it round the under bust, is also an horizontal measurement. Then you take it to the waist point, take your tape round your waist, is your horizontal measurement. When you take it round the hip also is your horizontal measurement, just as you can see me doing. Take it round and make sure that the tape moves freely, or if the client wants it tight, depending on the preference of the client. So this is the horizontal and the vertical measurements. So nice for us to take all those measurements and place it on the paper. So this is going to be the starting point when you are drafting on the paper. Remember to write all those figures you got when you're taking your measurements, write them down, and they varies. That's why I didn't call the exact figure. They varies. Your own measurement might be different from that person measurement. So you have to take your measurement, write it down, and then you place it on the paper. So I've taken my vertical lines and my horizontal lines. So these lines are just like a starting point. So that upper point is going to serve as the shoulder point. So I'm going to label that as the shoulder point. So from that shoulder point, I'll go down just as I've done when I was taking my measurements, from the shoulder to the bust point. When I was measuring, I got 10. So I'm going to place that same figure on the paper, from the shoulder to the under bust, from the shoulder to the waist points. I'm going to take all the measurements. Then from the waist points, I added 5 more inches, which made it the full length of the top. So you can add whatever figure, whatever length you want your top length. So I'll mark that down and then rule it out. I'll mark all the figures down and then rule it out. So after ruling, I'm just going to label all the figures like so. My shoulder line, my bust point, my under bust, my waistline, and the length of the. So next is to divide the shoulder by 2. The shoulder in this case is 14 divided by 2. I'm just going to place that figure like so, which is 7. I'll mark it straight down. So next at that shoulder point, I'm just going to go down by 1 inches. This is for the shoulder slant. I'm supposed to connect it to the neck point. So I'm going to take my neck width. Since it's just a basic bodice pattern, I'm just going to take 3 inches by 3 inches, which is the standard for taking a neckline for a female dress. So I'm just going to rule like a square shape like so, and just use my free hand to like create like a curve. Then I'll connect that 1 inches that I went down from and connect it to the neck point. So from that point, I'm just going to take my round armhole. You can either divide your bicep by 2, or you use your shoulder to shoulder figure, or you use your chest measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, or you use your round armhole by 2 divided by 2, then add 1.5 inches, or you use your shoulder to shoulder. Whichever method works for you, either of these 3 will be fine. So in my case, I used my shoulder to shoulder, which was 14 divided by 2. I use that same figure as my armhole measurements. So I'm just going to mark it like so, and then I'm going to extend it outward. So this point is going to be our upper chest point. So I'm supposed to roll it out, then label it as upper chest point. So from that point, I'm just going to go upward by 1 inches because I'm trying to create the armhole curve. So I'm going to rule this out, and then I'll label it as the upper chest point. I'll label it as the upper chest point, and I'm supposed to connect like a 3 points to create my armhole curve. So I'll take my round chest measurements, add my sewing allowance to it, then I'll go upwards at that point by 1 inches. Then I'll find the midpoint of my armhole. 7 divided by 2, that will be the midpoint. I'll mark it like so, then go in by ½ inches. So now I've gotten my 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm supposed to connect all these points together so I can form my armhole point. So this is how you get your armhole. I hope this is clear enough for the beginners in the house. So that's going to connect all the 4 lines like so. You can use your free hand if your hand is straight, or you can use your French curve. So I'm just going to mark like so, connect it to the midpoint. From the midpoint, I'll connect it to this next point. So you can see we form our armhole curve. So we've gotten our neck, our shoulder slants, and our armhole. So now it's for us to get our nipple to nipple points. So to get your nipple to nipple, you take your measurements on your client, place it at one point of the nipple to the other point of the nipple, divide that figure by 2. If you don't call it nipple to nipple, you can call it a bust span. Nipple to nipple sounds local, but it still makes sense. So I'm going to mark it like so. In this case, it's 7 divided by 2. I'm going to mark it like so. Place it at the bust point. I'll place it at the under bust. I'll also place it at the waist point. Then I'll place it at the full length of the top. This is just for us to create our darts. So I'm just going to mark it straight. I'll mark it straight like so. So I'm going to take my darts. So since it's just for a dart, for when you're taking a dress, a dart on a dress, so you don't need to do too much. ½ inch is okay. So at that end point of the end point of the dress, which is the end line, you just go up by 1 inches. Then at the waist points, I'll use ½ inches. ½ inches at the right side half inches at the left side. So I'll do the same thing at the under bust area. I'm just going to mark it like so. From the bust points, I'll mark it, connect it to the under bust. From the under bust, I connect it to the waist points, just as you can see me doing. Then at that end point, I went upward by 1 inches and I connected. So you're going to have like a diamond shape. Just the same thing. You're not cutting this out, just like a guide. When you cut your normal top, when you cut the pattern, you place it on the fabric, you're just going to take ½ inch. Not like you cut that out. So next is for us to take our round waist measurements, which is the round circumference of the horizontal measurements, which is your round waist, your round chest, your round hip. So you place that figure like so, just as you can see me doing. Then you add your sewing allowance. So you're just going to mark this out, and then you connect all the lines. So the chest point, we've already gotten the chest point. Divide your waist. In this case, our waist was 29 divided by 4. Then I added 1 inch sewing allowance. The hip divided by 4, I added 1 inch sewing allowance. So I place it at the length line of this top. Then I connect from the chest to the waist, from the waist. So after connecting that, now is to get our bust dart. So the back and the front, remember I told you they are not the same. So to make it the same, the front is longer than the back, so you have to take your bust dart. So in this case, the client's front from her shoulder to her waist is 15 inches, while the back is 13 inches. So I took a bust dart of 2 inches. You can see there's a difference between 2 inches. So I'm going to connect it like so. So at that bust point, I'll go down by 2 inches and I'll connect it to the bust area like so. So I'm just going to mark this because I'm going to be folding it so that the front and the back will be equal. So now it's for us to draft the back. So with this pattern, you'll be able to cut any dress you want, any type of top, any type of dress. So it's very important at the foundation level to know how to cut your normal basic bodice. If you know how to cut this, then you solve 1/3 of all the problems in sewing. So now it's for us to draft our back. So I'm drafting the front and the back together. I'm going to place them on the same line. So I'm just going to extend these lines outward, just as you can see me doing. I'll extend the lines outward. Then the back usually have a zip. So if you don't want a zip to be at the back, if it's like a stretchy fabric, then you don't need to add a zipper allowance to it. If it's not a stretchy fabric, you add your zipper allowance to it. So I'm just going to mark like a line to divide the front from the back. I'll mark it straight down like so. Then I'm going to be adding I'll take my 1 inch zipper allowance. So first of all, I need to mark my shoulder line, extend the shoulder line to the back. So now I can start taking my vertical lines of the back. So from the shoulder to the bust point, 10. From the shoulder to the waist of the back is 13. Then from the waist downward, I extended it by 5 inches. Remember the front too, I also extended it by 5 inches. So this is me just taking the zipper allowance. I'm just going to mark it 1 inches zipper allowance. I'm just going to mark it like so. Then I'll rule this out. So like I said, the same thing you did for the front, you do it for the back. The neck width for the front and the back are usually the same. The shoulder to shoulder for the front and the back are usually the same. So I'm taking that same measurement, and the shoulder slant for the front and the back is also the same, which is 1 inch shoulder slant. The width varies, depends on what you are creating. Usually the standard is 1 inch or 1.5. So I'm just going to mark a square shape like so, and then rule this out so I can get my neck points. So I'll be using my free hand and just create like a curve. Then I'll connect that 1 inch slant that I went downwards from. I'll connect to the neck. The same figure I use for my armhole for the front is the same thing I'll use for the armhole for the back. So I'll go down by 7 inches. I'm just going to mark it like so, and then we'll create our armhole. So I'm just going to mark it like so I can get a perfect straight line. And then I'll connect, just as you can see me doing. So next is to find the midpoint of this armhole, 7 inches. Same thing we did for the front, we did for the back. The difference here is the back armhole, you don't need to extend it or go inwards by ½ inch. It's going to be straight. So I'm just rolling this armhole curve outward. Then I'm just going to take my 1 inches, mark my chest point, divided by 4. Then I added 1 inch. Same thing I did for the front. We're just trying to create the armhole curve. So you can see in this case I use my free hand. You don't need to go inward by ½ inches for the back armhole. It's going to be straight. So now it's for us to take our vertical line. So from the shoulder to the bust point, that's my figure. From the shoulder to the under bust, that's my figure, 13 inches. And from the shoulder, 12 inches, sorry. From the shoulder to the waist point is going to be 13 inches. Remember, for the shoulder to the waist point for the front is 15 inches. So we have 2 inches excess. Then from the waist, I went downward by 5 inches, which is extra 5 inches for the length. So this will be the length of the top. The same thing I did for the front, same thing I will do for the back. So I'm just going to mark it like so. So by the time you check the difference between the front and the back, you notice it is 2 inches different. So I'm just going to label all these points like so. So this is what I'm talking about. By the time you check the front and the back bodice, you will notice there is a 2 inches distance between the front and the back. So you can see the front is longer than the back by 2 inches. After taking my measurement, I noticed that. So by the time I close down my bust dart, this is the bust dart for the front. By the time I close it like so, by the time I fold it and close it up, the front and the back will now be equal. So you can see it will now be equal. So that's the importance of taking your bust darts. So next thing for us to do now is to start taking our nipple to nipple measurements for the back. So for the back dart, you divide your nipple to nipple by 2, then you place that figure just as you can see me doing. In this case, it's 3.5. So I'll place it at the bust point, I'll place it at the waist point, and I'll also place it at the end point, which is the length of the top. I'm just going to place it like so, and then I'll mark it straight down, just as you can see me doing. The same thing we did for the front is what I'm going to do for the back. Then at this end point, which is the length of the top, I'll go upwards by 1 inches. The same thing I did for the front. I went upward by 1 inches. Then I'm going to take the darts of ½ inch to the right, ½ inch to the left at the waist point. Then I'll connect it to the bust point and also connect it to the end point, just as you can see me doing. So after connecting, you're going to have like a diamond shape. Now you've taken your darts. So after taking your darts, you take your round measurement, which is your round chest, your round waist, and your round hip points. You're just going to, this is the waist point. I'll divide that by 4, add my sewing allowance. This is the hip points. I'll also divide that point, my round hip, by 4 and add my sewing allowance and place it like so. The same thing at the chest point. So I'm just going to connect all these 3 lines together. So after doing this, we are done. So this is how to like create your normal basic bodice. So with this pattern, you can create any dress you want, any top you want. You can also use this pattern to create your corset, which is what I'm going to be showing a very brief tutorial on how to draft your corset cup using this basic bodice. So with this method, with this basic bodice, you can draft any type of dress, any type of shirt, any type of corsets you want with this basic bodice. So this is the foundation level that you need to know as a beginner to be able to draft any corset or any top that you want. So I'm just going to make like a brief tutorial on that. Okay, so let's just do like a brief tutorial on how to draft a corset. So from this upper chest point, you go inwards, or you go outward by ½ inch. Where I place my tape, you go outward by ½ inch. You're trying to like create your cup corset. So you go outward by ½ inch. At the bust point, you also go outward by ½ inch. So you're going to mark this line straight. Use your ruler and mark it straight. You also have like a straight shape. You're trying to create like a cup for your corset using the normal basic bodice. So this is just a short tutorial. I'm not going too detailed. So next thing for you to do now, at that your upper chest point, you're supposed to extend it by 3 inches. That's if you want your corset to be a bit decent. that's to cover up. But in my case, I'm using that same upper chest point I used, so I'm just going to extend that line outward to meet the upper chest point, just as you can see me doing. Then at that point, I'm supposed to be taking another dart, which is half inch to the right, half inch to the left. Then at this waist and the hem point, I'm supposed to take 1 inch to the right and 1 inch to the left. So I'm just going to adjust it. So remember, we took our dart of half inches, so I'm going to take another half inches to the right, half inches to the left at the waist point, half inch to the right, half inch to the left at the under bust, half inch to the right, half inch to the left. So the length will be 1 inch to the right, 1 inch to the left. So I'm just going to mark it straight down. So I'm just adding more inches to it. Remember, when we were taking our normal darts, we took half inches. So now we're adding extra half inches to make it 1 inches. So at that upper chest point, I'm just going to take half inch to the right, half inch to the left, just as you can see me doing. Then I'm just going to mark it and connect it to the bust point like so. I'll mark it to the bust point. I'll mark the right side also to the bust point. So at this under bust point, I'll connect it to the bust point, just as you can see me doing. I'll mark it like so. I'll turn my French cuff to the other side so I can also connect the 1 inches, the half inches to the chest point, just as you can see me doing. So now we've marked our darts. So I'm just going to connect like so. Now I've marked our darts. So now we are trying to create our curve. So with this method, we are able to get one side of the bra cup. So I'm just going to mark this line because I'm going to be cutting it out. So now we've been able to like create our bra cup for the right side. So I'm just going to use my ruler and connect from that point to meet the bust point of that mark that I came out with by half inch. So we've created one side of the cup. You can see we've created one side of the cup. So to create the outer side of the cup, remember this left side, the chest area, sorry, the boobs is fuller at this point. So at this armhole area, I'll place it like so, then divide that figure by 2. In my case, I go to 1.5. At that point, I'll go down by half inches because I'm trying to like create the other side of the cup. So I'm just going to connect the line to meet that point. Then this one, I'll just use my ruler, or can use my free hand to connect these points. So I'm just going to mark it like so and just use the ruler to connect that point. Then the other side of the cup, I'm going to connect it like so. So this method is when you are creating your own bra cup, or you can use a normal customized bra cup, the one they sell at the market. Or another method is to draft your bra cup that you can use to drop your bra cup separately. And I'm going to connect from that point that I went down by 1 inches and connect it and just extend that line outward. Then from that point, I'll connect it to meet the downside of the underbust. So you can see we've created our bra cup. So this is method 1. Method 2 is to go and get your bra cup and just place it. So this is the bra cup. They have different sizes: 36, 35, 34, 40. It depends on the size you wear. So you buy the one that is 2 inches bigger than your normal size of bra, or your normal size of boobs. So you're just going to place it like so, just as you can see me doing, then trace it out. So you place it at the under bust of your draft pattern already. You just place it like so at the under bust. When you've taken your vertical and horizontal line, that's another class on its own. So I'm just like showing you a brief tutorial. I'm not going into details. So you're just going to place it at the under bust and then trace the line, just as you can see me doing. You just trace it out like so. This is the second method. Or the third method is for you to draft your bra cup separately. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you're able to learn 1 or 2 things in this detailed tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, click the subscribe button, When you subscribe, when you click the subscribe button, you get notification anytime I upload new videos. So see you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye.